What happens when they thought you'd crawl back, but you didn't? When they were certain you'd beg, explain, or plead for another chance, but instead you walked away in silence? That's when the tables turn. That's when their confidence cracks. Because nothing haunts a person more than the moment they realize you're not coming back. They expected you to fold. They expected your weakness. But instead, you gave them the one response they never prepared for: strength. You vanished from their grip and chose yourself. And now, every quiet second, every unanswered call, every night they replay the moments they had with you, becomes a reminder of what they lost. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. You can't control their regret, their thoughts, or their expectations. But you can control you, and the greatest revenge, the greatest proof of power, is not chasing. It's silence. It's moving forward without looking back. It's showing them that the person they thought they could take for granted is gone forever. This video is your reminder. You don't need to return. You don't need to explain. You don't need to prove. You are already enough. And the moment you embrace that truth, you become untouchable. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments right now. I choose myself. I don't chase. I don't return. Now let's break down 8 brutal but liberating truths of walking away so you can reclaim your power and make them question everything. Number 1, your absence is their wake-up call. Seneca once said, "He who is brave is free," and there is no greater act of bravery than walking away from someone who thought you never would. Your absence is not weakness. It's the loudest message you will ever send. It is the thunder that follows your silence. When you're gone, they are forced to confront a truth they ignored. You were never replaceable. They thought they had time. They thought they had control. They thought you'd always be there no matter how little they gave. But when you didn't come back, reality cut deep. Suddenly the calls aren't answered. The comfort isn't there. The laughter they dismissed echoes in their memory. Your silence becomes their punishment, not because you planned it, but because your presence was worth more than they ever admitted. Walking away doesn't just strip them of comfort, it awakens you. It proves that your life does not collapse without their attention. It proves that your worth is not in their hands, but in your own. Every day you don't reach out, your value rises. Every moment you resist chasing, your strength grows. You stop being the seeker, and you become the prize. The next time the urge hits to explain, to break silence, to run back, remember this: every word you speak to them now lowers your price. Every moment of silence raises it. Your absence is the mirror that forces them to see what they've lost. Number 2, your silence makes them question their control. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things beyond our control." And nothing flips the power dynamic more than silence. They thought they had control over you, your emotions, your reactions, your next move. But when you gave them nothing, you shattered their illusion. People crave control. They want to know they can push your buttons, trigger your emotions, and predict your behavior. That's how they feel secure. But the moment you stop reacting, you take away their weapon. Silence becomes your shield and your sword. While they're expecting drama, arguments, or endless explanations, what they get is nothing. And that nothing eats at them far more than your words ever could. Every time you remain silent, you are forcing them to sit with their own actions. You're forcing them to replay the conversations, the fights, the moments where they thought they could get away with disrespect. Without your voice filling the silence, their mind does the work for you. It digs, it doubts, it panics. They begin to wonder, why haven't they come back? Why aren't they reacting? Did I lose them for good? And that questioning becomes their torment. But here's the key. Silence doesn't just affect them, it strengthens you. It teaches you emotional control, the art of not reacting, the discipline of patience. You rise above the chaos and learn to master yourself, instead of letting others master you. This is real power. The next time you feel tempted to break the silence, remind yourself, every reaction gives away your power, every silence reclaims it. Hold the line, let them wonder, let them feel the void. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My silence is unshakable. I am in control. Number 3, moving forward is the greatest revenge. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." And that's exactly what moving forward does. It separates you from the cycle of pain they tried to trap you in. They expected you to be stuck, waiting, orbiting around their shadow. But instead, you took the one step they never thought you would. You chose life beyond them. When you move forward, you show them a truth sharper than any words. You don't need them. You don't need their validation, their approval, or their return. While they sit in confusion, wondering why you haven't come back, you're building yourself, growing stronger, creating a future they no longer belong to. That's when the tables flip completely, because nothing unsettles someone more than realizing they lost you, and you're not even looking back. This isn't about pretending to be happy, it's about actually becoming happy. It's about filling your days with progress, building habits that make you proud, surrounding yourself with people who respect you, and proving to yourself that your world doesn't collapse when one person leaves it. The real victory is not in showing them pain, it's in showing yourself freedom. And here's the secret. When you move forward, they will notice. Even if you never speak again, even if you never cross paths, the silence of your absence combined with the light of your growth will echo louder than any message you could ever send. You stop being the broken one they thought you'd be. You become untouchable. Take one step today that has nothing to do with them, but everything to do with you. Hit the gym, start that project, learn a skill, invest in your mind. Every step forward is a reminder. I am not stuck, I am free. Number 4, their control dies when you stop needing them. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And this is where your power rises, when you stop needing them. Because the moment you don't need their validation, their attention, their apology, or their return, their control over you dies instantly. They only had power as long as you craved their presence. But the second you chose self-mastery, they lost the throne they thought they sat on. Think about it. People expect you to chase what walked away. They expect you to beg for closure, to fight for clarity, to prove your worth. But when you don't, when you turn inward instead of outward, that's when you free yourself. You shift from the one who needs to the one who provides for yourself. You stop depending on their crumbs and instead build your own table. And nothing is more unsettling to someone who thought they owned your emotions than realizing you don't need them anymore. This isn't about pretending you're fine. It's about truly realizing you were always whole. It's about knowing that your value was never measured by their acceptance, but by the standards you set for yourself. When you cut that invisible cord of dependency, you no longer orbit around them. They vanish from your world entirely. Write down 3 areas of your life where you've been waiting on someone else to give you permission. Love, closure, validation. Now give that permission to yourself. Don't wait for a call that won't come. Don't wait for an apology that may never arrive. Create your own closure. Create your own worth. Create your own freedom. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I don't need them. I am already whole. I am free. Number 5. Silence exposes their weakness. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." And silence is that revenge. Because silence is not empty, it is loaded with meaning. It is louder than arguments, sharper than explanations, and more haunting than words could ever be. When you stop speaking, you stop feeding them. When you stop explaining, you stop giving them energy. And when you stop returning, you force them to sit with their own reflection. And that is where their weakness shows. They thought your voice would always be available. They thought they could predict your reactions, control your emotions, and play with your loyalty. But silence takes all of that away. Suddenly they don't know what you're thinking. They don't know what you're feeling. They don't know what you'll do next. And that uncertainty eats at them, because control thrives on predictability. Silence destroys predictability. This is why silence works. It turns their arrogance into doubt, their certainty into fear, their pride into questioning. They replay your last words. They analyze your absence. They wonder if you've already found better, if you've already healed, if you've already moved on. And every time they wonder, they weaken. The next time you feel tempted to send that long text, to prove your side, to remind them of your worth, don't. Hold your silence. Because the strength you gain from discipline is far greater than the momentary relief of breaking it. Every time you resist, you remind them, I am not yours to control. Number 6. Your growth is the real revenge. Epictetus once said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Nothing unsettles someone more than watching the person they thought they broke become stronger, calmer, and more unstoppable. When you walk away and focus on your growth, you turn their expectation of your downfall into the exact opposite. You rise, and that rise burns them more than anger ever could. They thought you'd sit in pain, checking your phone, waiting for their call. They thought your days would shrink without them, but instead, you're building, you're creating, you're evolving. Your silence isn't just silence, it's transformation. They thought you needed them to feel whole, but now they're forced to face a brutal truth. You never did. Growth is power because it cannot be faked. When you hit the gym, your body speaks. When you focus on your craft, your success speaks. When you train your mind, your peace speaks. They might try to ignore you, but they cannot ignore the glow that comes from someone who has chosen themselves. And every time they see you moving forward without them, their control shatters a little more. This is why real revenge isn't screaming, explaining, or proving. It's leveling up in silence. You don't need them to see it. You don't need to post it. Your energy alone, your presence alone, your discipline alone will say everything for you. Every day, commit to one act of growth. Read one page, take one walk, learn one skill, build one habit. Small steps compound into unshakable strength. And soon, the person who once underestimated you will no longer recognize who you've become. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My growth is my revenge. My success is my silence. Number 7. Scarcity makes you irreplaceable. Seneca said, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." Gratitude is born from scarcity. When you make yourself too available, when you respond to every call, text, or message, people begin to take you for granted. But when you pull back, When your presence becomes rare, you create value that cannot be ignored. Scarcity is not manipulation, it's wisdom. By not returning, by holding your ground, you make them confront what they lost. Every unanswered message, every silent moment, every day you choose yourself over seeking validation. It's a reminder to them that you were never easily replaceable. People begin to notice the weight of your absence. They begin to question what they could have done differently. And that realization? It's powerful. Scarcity doesn't just affect them, it strengthens you. It trains you to rely on yourself, to cultivate your own joy, your own peace, your own life. The less you give yourself away to be needed, the more you embody self-respect. The more rare you are, the more undeniable your presence becomes. Limit your availability. Don't be the first to reach out. Protect your time and energy. Let your absence speak louder than words ever could. Make your life so full, your energy so strong, that they feel the void of your absence without you having to say a single word. Number 8. Be the source, not the seeker. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." The ultimate power comes from realizing you are the source of your own value, your own peace, your own confidence. When you stop seeking validation, stop chasing attention, and stop needing approval, you step into mastery. You no longer rely on someone else to define your worth because you have claimed it for yourself. By not returning, by holding your ground, you demonstrate that your life does not revolve around their choices or their approval. Your silence becomes a void they cannot fill, a presence they cannot replace, and a reminder that your power comes from within. People feel your absence like a weight. They notice what they took for granted because you are no longer the seeker. You are the source. This mindset transforms everything. You stop wasting energy on explaining yourself or pleading for recognition. You focus on building your own life, growing your own strength, and cultivating your own happiness. The more you embody this principle, the more untouchable you become. Others will question, they will wonder, but you will remain unshaken, grounded in your own power. Every time the urge to chase or explain yourself arises, remind yourself, I am the source. Channel your energy into self-mastery, into discipline, into creating a life so full and meaningful that your absence becomes undeniable. The more you live from this place, the less they can define you, and the more your power shines. You've walked through every step of this journey, and now you see the truth. The greatest power isn't in chasing, it's in standing firm. They thought you'd return, they thought you'd explain, they thought they could control your heart, but you didn't. You chose yourself, you chose your peace, you chose your freedom. That is strength. Remember, Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Your life, your happiness, your worth, these belong to you alone. No one else can take them. No one else can define them, and no one else can diminish them. Every moment of silence, every choice to walk away, every action you take to grow, builds your empire of self-respect. Now is the time to rise. Do not look back. Do not waste energy on regret or what-ifs. Channel every ounce of your focus into becoming stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable than ever. Fill your days with growth, with discipline, with joy that cannot be shaken by anyone. Your absence has already spoken volumes. Let your life continue to shout your power. You've seen the 8 brutal truths of walking away. You've felt the fire of self-mastery and emotional control. Now it's your turn to act. Stand firm, protect your energy, and live in such a way that your presence becomes a force that cannot be ignored. If this video resonated with you, hit that like button. Subscribe for more wisdom and strategies to reclaim your power, and drop a comment with your affirmation. I choose myself. I stand unshaken. I am unstoppable. The world may have expected your return, but you know the truth. Your power was never theirs to take. Your life is yours to command. Walk forward with confidence and never look back.